Hey, what's going on, everyone? Nick here from Sly Leads. So I did an AMA on LinkedIn last week, and I had a couple comments, and two of the most common comments that I see in people that hop on consult calls with me and stuff like that. I had a question that was asked. So what is the biggest cold outreach mistake, or your biggest cold outreach mistake? Like what have I seen? Right. So number one is email infrastructure. So if you're doing cold outbound email, then if your email infrastructure is not set up correctly, then you are losing money. Just effectively point blank, you are losing money. So number one, you need to have your domain reputation checked and consistently make sure that it's not causing you to land in spam. So that's number one, your domain reputation. The individual domain itself needs to have SPF, DKIM, and DMARC records. So those are all DNS records. So those essentially are what like an email signature is for like computers and coding, right? So essentially what you're doing is you're proving that you're a real person because you went through those extra steps to verify that your inbox was an actual inbox. And then outside of that is just the way that you build it out. So when I was working as a software salesman, we had 15 SDRs all doing outbound email cadences from the same domain. So I think our open rate was probably like 20% and our bounce rate was like 12%. So I guess I can put that as number 3. So I'll get to that after. So email infrastructure, you don't want to be sending from your primary domain, because then if you shoot down your domain reputation for whatever reason, let's say you get too many spam complaints or you send to a list that is bad data and you bounce a lot, and then your domain reputation goes down. So you stop landing in the inbox for like Microsoft or Google, for example. So if your email infrastructure is not set up correctly, number one, you need secondary domains. Don't send from your primary domain. You don't want to damage your internal communications. If it gets shot, you don't want to damage your client communication. If that gets shot, not worth the risk. So just purchase secondary domains. I personally do anywhere from 1 to 5 email accounts per domain, but it's all about being cost effective, right? So if you're like a newer offer, newish service, or newer agency, whatever, then you probably don't have a lot of cash to spend on stuff like email infrastructure. So you probably are going to do less domains and then more accounts per domain, or just less inboxes in general, because each email inbox has a monthly cost associated with it. So what I recommend is getting depending on how many email accounts you want, how much outbound volume you want to do, it's about getting that many secondary domains. And then if you want to be risk adverse, then you're going to do 1 email account per domain. And the reason is that if that email domain reputation gets shot or the deliverability gets shot, you're only losing 1 inbox. Versus if I have 3 domains with 5 inboxes each, that's 15 inboxes. But if 1 domain goes down, then I lose 5 inboxes. You know what I'm saying? So it's 15 domains, 15 inboxes, or 3 domains, 15 inboxes. If one of those 3 domains goes down, I lose 1/3 of my sending capacity, and I need to like reworm the account or whatever, and it might potentially never recover, right? So that's something to keep in mind, your email infrastructure. So buy secondary domains, make sure you do all the DNS records, DMARC, SPF, DKIM. You're going to have to do web forwarding. And then that's just the very entry level email infrastructure stuff. So if that was kind of over your head already, I recommend just booking a consult call with me. If you are like a larger company and you have all of your sales reps doing outbound email from your main domain, I would really, really recommend that you guys stop doing that as soon as possible. So number 2, you need to have an offer, and you need to have an outbound optimized offer. So what do I mean by that? An offer is not, hey, we make websites. That's not an offer. An offer would be something more like, hey, we guarantee to increase your conversion rate on your site by 20% within 2 months. And if we don't do that, then will work for free until we do. I don't know. That's not a good example, but it's like a risk reversal or a guarantee on the end that I don't personally like to use, but you get the general idea. So, hey, we make websites is not an offer. If you email someone and you say, hey, I was just on your site. I think it could be optimized. You want to see a quick video about it? You're like offering to record a quick video, but you're not actually like telling them what you're selling or what your service is. So it's a little bit lemony in that sense. So like, what is an outbound optimized offer? It usually is, hey, what can I provide for you that's of value? How long is it going to take me to do that? What's the perceived likelihood of that achievement? And then is there any sort of risk reversal or guarantee? So like if you've helped someone else do this and you face a lot of common objections, that you probably want to have some sort of guarantee on the back end. Every single outbound offer that I've ever used that has used that like Alex Hormozi value formula has performed better than people who just say, hey, we can help you with your IT infrastructure. Hey, we can help you with your website. Hey, we can help you with your sales consulting. Hey, we can help you with like, none of that matters. People are only going to buy from you for 3 reasons. They're going to make money, they're going to save money, or they're going to save time. Giving them a new website doesn't explicitly say which of those 3 things you're going to help them do, right? So you need to have an outbound optimized offer. Cold email in general, you're introducing yourself to strangers. So it's really, really imperative that you increase the amount of trust signals that you have going outbound. So you should have your secondary domain forward to your main homepage, and then your main homepage should be just littered with testimonials and the great work that you've done, right? So when someone looks you up, you shouldn't feel like a stranger. You should have enough content out there, or you should have a landing page or a VSL or whatever to back up your claim, right? So this also goes in with trust signals. And then we could even go deeper and talk about having like an optimized LinkedIn profile, or having an optimized website, or having optimized testimonials, or having like more reasons that people should trust you. At the end of the day, if you're selling someone something outbound and they've never heard of you, they're probably going to look you up. And if they look you up and they can't find anything, they probably think you're a scammer, right? So you need to have an outbound optimized offer, preferably with a guarantee or a risk reversal. And you need to increase the amount of trust signals as possible. So if that means, 1, having like guarantees, but 2, it's like case studies, testimonials, history, content. All of those are trust signals that I recommend that you have. VSL, speaking directly to that audience, direct response copy on a lander versus just like a generic homepage. These are all ways that you can increase your trust signals. And then finally, this leads back to what I was saying. So when I was working at that software company, we had a 12% bounce rate. Any campaign that is 3% bounce rate is already on the brink of like danger and damaging your domain reputation. So you need to verify your lead list, and then sometimes double or even triple verify them. So what that means is, hey, if you're going to try a new lead source, you should probably verify it and potentially verify it twice, because any email campaign that has a higher than 3% bounce rate is already going to start damaging your domain reputation and your deliverability. So you should absolutely be verifying leads at all times, no matter where you get your lead list from, right? So for example, Apollo is one of the most common data source providers in the space. And even if you hit verified and likely to engage as 2 filters on Apollo, you still need to verify that list. I use a tool called Million Verifier, and Million Verifier comes back with like 60% valid emails from those Apollo emails that they say are verified. So you can't necessarily trust your lead source. You always want to double verify and manually do it on your side. So that's like Zero Bounce, Voila Norbert, Million Verifier, email bulk checker, or email list validation, something like that. There are a ton of tools out there for email validation. So in conclusion, number 1, your email infrastructure needs to be set up. Use secondary domains. Always have the secondary domain forward to whatever lander or main homepage for your offer, ideally with a VSL, case studies, testimonials, all that kind of stuff. Ideally, you have a really good LinkedIn profile with a lot of content, or a YouTube channel, or all of the above. Not having an outbound optimized offer, telling someone you make websites is not an offer. If you make websites, what is the website going to do for them? How is it going to make them money, save them money, or save them time? If you can't explicitly define that in like quantifiable terms, and how long it's going to take you, and who else you've done it for, and any guarantee or risk reversal, then your offer needs improvement. And then finally, verifying lead lists. There are so many data sources out there. And then if you just think about it from like a practical perspective, let's say you pull a list from Sales Navigator, and then 3 months later, how many of those people left that company?